Many strides, one dream. Many heartbeats, one pulse. Sagicor, celebrating Jamaican success. The time by Sagicor is
7 o'clock. CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, new JTA president inherits wage deal controversy. CLA under fire over management concerns, and alleged arson attack destroys restaurant in Kingston.
Also this evening, multi-million-dollar pipeline work underway in St. James. In the business report, the design of science and technology development. And in sports, Khadija Bunny Shaw wins PFA Award. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm Stephen McHugh.
And I'm Carolyn Brown. It's Tuesday, August 20, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, the Jamaica Teachers Association, the JTA, has a new president, but the controversy over the March 2023 wage deal remains unresolved. Like his predecessor, the new president is critical of the agreement and has inherited the fallout, including a lawsuit against the association.
Now, as he steps into the new role, Dr. Mark Smith is not only addressing the wage issue, he's also pushing for a shift in education policies and improvements in working conditions. Ramon Gordon reports.
There is only one person, one group that benefits from a disjointed and weakened and fractured JTA. And it's the person that sits across the negotiation table.
Dr. Mark Smith is the Jamaica Teachers Association's new president, and like his controversial predecessor, Lasandra Harrison, he's averse to the March 23 wage deal confirmed by delegates via virtual vote.
I voted every single time against it because I believe fundamentally it was unjust and was not in the best interest of the vast majority of our teachers and educators.
The Teachers Association is being sued by Harrison, who contends the vote to accept the deal violated the association's constitution. The matter reportedly caused a row at the JTA's 60th conference, with immediate past President Leighton Johnson claiming the embattled Harrison greenlit the signing.
In signing the agreement, colleagues, I acted within the framework provided by our association's governing document and with the explicit endorsement of the president at the time. This decision was made with the utmost regard for the collective well-being of our members and in alignment with the principles and values of the Jamaica Teachers Association.
Johnson and other executives have further refrained from, quote, airing dirty laundry publicly. Meanwhile, a fervent Smith was installed Thursday in Trelawney, where in addition to wage advocacy, he proposed a rethink of Jamaica's primary exit profile, PEP.
The reality is we have now stretched over 3 years, and we're seeing burnout among our children. We're asking you to listen to us. We're on the ground. We see it. We're seeing a lack of focus and love of education. And while we embrace the idea and the concept behind the PEP of promoting greater level of creativity, divergent thinking, and critical thinking, we believe some of the challenges lie in the age appropriateness and complexity of some of the tasks the children are asked to do.
Smith also began lobbying for more dynamic education policies that shift focus from traditional ranking systems, veering instead towards inclusion.
Every August, we engage in our national pastime of comparing schools against each other, rather than critically analyzing the fundamentals of each and every one of those institutions and what gives rise to the underperformance. We see students increasingly engaged in extra classes to increase the collection of subjects that they will pass. Anywhere from 9 to 14 subjects really represent for each student in this grand scheme of things. What does it really represent? Is education about passing subjects? If that is your belief, that is rather tragic.
Smith's urging the Education Ministry to use its influence to improve not only the sector but teacher work conditions. The new JTA boss is also urging his members to coalesce.
I believe in doing what is in the best interest of students, not chasing rankings. And we have become obsessed with it. Every August, we engage in our national pastime of comparing schools against each other, rather than critically analyzing the fundamentals of each and every one of those institutions and what gives rise to the underperformance. We have since independence continued the exclusionary model of education.
Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
A beloved restaurant in Kingston was destroyed by an alleged arson attack on Monday. Reports are the fire was started at about 3 Tuesday morning at the Barbican Sports Turf. Britannia Witter has more.
This is what's left of Happy Days, a recently established fast food establishment on East Kings House Road in Kingston. Closed-circuit camera footage circulating on social media show masked men walking through the restaurant and brazenly pouring what appears to be gallons of gasoline on the walls and floor. The restaurant's co-owner, 22-year-old Zachary James, says he's still in disbelief.
I feel like I'm still in shock. When I go down there, I really built the place with my own 2 hands from the growing up. If you ask one of my workers, his name is Glenn, shouting out. He's seen me like putting the blood, sweat and tears in the place. He's was there with me on my hands and knees putting on the tiles. So it's like hard.
Since the incident, James says he's received support from many people.
The response I've been getting from people around me, my friends, my family, the community. People that don't really know me, but I've like tried the food, seen the food, wanted to go down there but never got the chance to, and to come down there, but now don't have the chance to. Like they're pushing me to not give up, not still be great. They're sending a lot of hope and prayers, and that really been getting me through.
As investigations continue, anyone with information is being urged to come forward and tell the authorities what they know. Britannia Witter, CVM News.
The Cannabis Licensing Authority is under fire following calls by the opposition PNP over claims of mismanagement. In a statement on Monday, the party called for the weeding out of existing board members and a fresh start for the entity. More details from Trisha Gay Kelly.
High speculations now surround the Cannabis Licensing Authority CLA after the People's National Party called for the resignation of the agency's board on Monday. This follows CLA's alleged removal of its Human Resource Executive Committee, HREC, in January of this year, after the HREC allegedly voted against hiring an unqualified individual for a key position. Since then, the PNP has not let up on its call for the Auditor General to investigate the hiring and firing practices at the agency. Opposition spokesperson on investment, trade and global logistics, Anthony Hilton, says more attention must be placed on the matter.
The decision by the management to suspend or disband the Human Resource Executive Committee created the conditions whereby the continuation of malfeasance, of mismanagement by rewarding or putting in place persons that are unqualified to serve in critical position in a critical agency is itself unforgivable.
He further requested the Auditor General investigates the agency's operations, but his call to the AG is nothing new, as the agency's employees have allegedly been asking the AG to investigate the entity. Hilton says it's not a good look for the agency.
It is not credible that the board of the Cannabis Licensing Authority was unaware of the development with respect to the personnel at the CLA over a long period of time. This is so because of the high attrition rate at the agency.
However, the opposition spokesperson is not taking the agency's decisions lightly. He is demanding accountability from the CLA board.
The board is much more culpable. The board has a responsibility to govern and to monitor the activities of the agency, particularly an agency with law enforcement responsibility. And the board simply did not discharge that responsibility. The board now cannot be heard to be saying that because it had no immediate oversight of the Human Resource Executive Committee set up by the CEO, that it is absolved of governance responsibility. The board retained that governance responsibility and must be held accountable.
Hilton also highlighted the agency's alleged failure to initiate a program which could adjust its employment status to make contract workers permanent, as the government had suggested. He is now proposing that the agency turns a new leaf. Upon contacting the CLA, the agency advised that CVM News calls them again on Wednesday. Trisha Kelly, CVM News.
Now, after receiving many complaints of hiked electricity bills this month, Energy Minister Darrell Vaz is encouraging Jamaica Public Service JPS customers to share their concerns before and after Hurricane Beryl with him, as he pledges to advocate with the power company on their behalf. Minister Vaz says there's been a significant increase in complaints, despite customers being told their concerns are being resolved.
Taking this very seriously and trying to document the complaints and areas of discontent for all the customers as we enter into remedying long-standing issues with utility companies and prepare for a review of the JPS license and the accompanying rules, regulations, and laws. So this is not only about JPS, this is about all the utilities. There are significant complaints about the telcos, and what we want to do is I want to be on top of it rather than having to rely on second and third hand information. And I'm not going to allow this opportunity of a total overhaul of the OUR and the regulations in preparation for the negotiation for the JPS license, which comes up for renewal in 2027. This minister is not going to allow the pain and suffering and anguish that the JPS customers and telco customers have undergone over the last few years to go in vain. We will come out of this bigger and better.
Lots more to come here on CVM News at 7. Stay with us.
CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart and STA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Everybody out, fried chicken with a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online. Bucket together to the new dance craze. Taste explosion bursting with flavor. When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment you share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come make we bucket together. Hey, bucket together, bucket together.
Papa Jesus, insurance gone up again? Or go faster? It gas our insurance.
Driver, let's go.
Do you really want to stick with the same old insurer? For the first time in Jamaica, taxis, minibuses, coasters, whatever you drive, MIBinsure.com will find you an insurer who will slash your premium by up to 60%. They all claim to save you money, but only MIB Insure actually can. Switch to MIBinsure.com today and save serious money.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
We a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment we share is finger licking good.
Welcome back. As the new school term approaches, many institutions are racing against time to recover from the devastating impact of Hurricane Beryl. Among them is a college in St. Elizabeth which has been struggling to make the necessary repairs after being severely affected. Raheem White has this story.
When Hurricane Beryl made landfall,
Its powerful winds and torrential rain left behind a trail of destruction, with many schools in the southern parishes bearing the brunt. The Bethlehem Moravian College is one such institution. Founded in 1861, Bethlehem Moravian College has been a cornerstone of higher education in St. Elizabeth for over a century. But in the wake of Hurricane Beryl, the college faces some of its most daunting challenges yet. The storm left several buildings in need of urgent repairs, and with the new term fast approaching, the school's administration is racing against the clock.
Who don't know about Bethlehem, we've been around for almost 200 years. So a lot of our buildings are actually older buildings. And so we lost a number of roofs. Our power lines were down right across the campus. And so we were severely affected.
Principal Albert Korcher has been the helm of the Bethlehem Moravian College for the past decade, guiding the institution through various challenges. However, he admits that the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl has posed unique obstacles.
We have started the restoration. Happy that the staff generally, through the instruction of the board, were able to jump on the activities very quickly. And so very shortly, we'll be up to 100%. We were able to start school in terms of administrative work about a week after. And so we never close our doors. As we speak now, as a lot of funds are needed. We want to start the rebuilding. We want to make sure that come September with our students. So as we speak, we are ready.
With repairs on the way, the college's administration is working close with the local authorities to prevent delays to the start of the new school year.
So we have been around. We're one of the 8 teachers' colleges, and we continue to produce, outstanding students. And we do not want the effects of Beryl to hamper that. But as we said, we are up and running. All the facilities are now back in place, and we expect that, as it comes September, full force in terms of our students and the staff for us to start back in September.
Raheem White, CVM News.
Approximately 2 kilometers of pipe will be laid by the National Water Commission, the NWC, as part of its latest project in Fairfield, Montego Bay. Minister with responsibility for water, Senator Matthew Samuda, checked in on the project on Monday. Adrian Williams reports.
Laying of new pipe infrastructure has commenced in the Fairfield area of Montego Bay, St. James. Minister with responsibility for water, Senator Matthew Samuda, says the project will cost $70 million.
What you're seeing on this site is the commencement of works of laying of over 2 kilometers of ductile iron pipes, which are replacing old collapsed pipes made of asbestos. These pipes were obviously meant to be changed many decades ago. However, we have now the financial capacity and space to do this project.
The National Water Commission, NWC's acting Vice President, Dr. Philippa Campbell-Francis, says the agency will be maintaining a presence throughout the project to ensure its proper completion.
We have started already some community engagements. We commit to continuing those engagements, and we also commit to working along with the NWA through weekly group sessions and so on, road work, field work, being here to supervise together to ensure that the work is delivered on time and done effectively and efficient.
Time and time again, the government and the relevant agencies are bashed for the untimely work schedules between the NWC and the NWA. But the senator had this assurance.
The NWA has already completed the procurement of the roadworks where the pipes are being laid, and once this is complete within 3 months, immediately after, that work will start. Contractor has already been approved and contract work is complete.
Member of Parliament for West Central St. James, Marlene Malahoo Fort, awaits the completion of the project she's been lobbying for years.
I'm thankful to my colleague, Minister Samuda. This is a matter that we have spoken about not only within the portfolio but at the cabinet level and just monitoring the infrastructure project. So, ladies and gentlemen, the work has formally begun and it's long overdue, and we will stop at nothing until it gets completed to improve the conditions in the Irwin Belt.
So you will get the water from us as a Christmas gift, and you will get the roadwork complete as a New Year's gift, Madam MP, so that the citizens will certainly get benefit from quality infrastructure, which is obviously not in place now, but has been lobbied for very heavily.
Adrian Williams for CVM News.
Local groups and the police today visited the grief-torn community of Cherry Tree Lane in Clarendon in a show of support for family and friends of those whose lives were violently taken earlier this month. Again, Adrian Williams has the latest.
With the Cherry Tree Lane massacre in Clarendon now 2 weeks past, pain still lingers in the memories of family members and residents of the community. A walkthrough of the area was done today by the Clarendon Interagency Group, including the Clarendon Police, Lay Magistrates Association, and local church groups, with the aim of bringing comfort to those still grieving.
As you're aware, there are many families that have suffered. They are currently grieving, and so they are just offering some support to them. This has been an ongoing effort. So whilst we do the investigations, whilst we carry out the operations, it's also important that we offer the kind of psychosocial assistance to the families to help them get over the grief.
President of the Errol Rattray Association and chairman for the National Prayer Vigil of Jamaica, Errol Rattray, believes the efforts of police and military will be in vain as the hearts of man must change.
When I heard that this happened, it's really saddened.
Yes.
It's saddened because for me, Clarendon was on the up in terms of reduction of crime and violence. I know the plans that the police have been very active and the church have been very active. So for me, it was a shock.
The evangelist says that prayer is just not enough.
But it's not just for us to pray. But there's what is called
Prayer and potato.
Yes. There is a practical expression of the Christian faith, which means if we see a need, we must respond to that. So there might be people, superintendent, there might be a person who might be needed care packages.
Yes.
There might be a person who might need a house.
Yes.
It might need a person who need to back to school.
Yes. Join in with the Red Cross, join in with the justice system, so we can bring hope to this community and let them know that all is not lost.
A candlelight service for those who lost their lives in the incident would normally be a step towards healing. The tradition was not allowed as gatherings are still not permitted.
We still have not been allowing any form of gathering in this space until we are totally sure that the space is a safe one. If you realize, we still have a heavy contingent of both police and military in the space. This is so because we are not yet certain that the space is back to normalcy.
The Clarendon police say they are making headway as their investigations evolve. Adrian Williams for CVM News.
And we'll return with the business segment right after this break.
children in primary, secondary, tertiary schools, also community-based organizations serving those with special needs. And we hope to see everybody in 2024.
Welcome back. Time now for our business report. It's with Joel Crossgale.
lots to share with you in the Business Report today. Have you ever contemplated what might be the most valuable invention or innovation ever conceived by a Jamaican? How about we extend that across the region? Now ask yourself, why don't you know the answer? Well, the Business Report has not yet been able to determine the correct answer either. Today, the spirit of collaboration to ensure that science and technology innovation is seen as imperatives for national and regional development is once again explored as we look to Day 3's panel discussion from the recent forecast series held by the University of Technology, where an esteemed panel including Professor Clive Landis, Principal of the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill Campus, described a proven geometry between private enterprise, government, and institutions of science to achieve those goals.
And I have to say, the US went through its low growth phase as well. Universities were not translating their ideas into outputs until the Bayh-Dole Act. The Bayh-Dole Act in 1980 was totally transformational. And it basically allowed a sharing of the intellectual property and, of course, a sharing of the gains, the money that you would actually make from an entrepreneurial idea in those three partners, which is the government, the higher education institution, and the private sector. And it's in that partnership which you see so clearly in all of these business parks which surround universities in the US, Triangle Park in North Carolina or University Park at MIT. It's just created that environment where the three partners can share in that innovation process, in the benefits that arrive from it. So we have plenty of ideas and intellectual leadership in our university, but we're lacking that good tripartite relationship.
And as you know, in any relationship, communication is important, which means any syntax barriers that exist across the triple pillars required for profitable R&D must be addressed, an admission made by Professor John Lindo, Director of Mona Office for Innovation and Research at the UWI Mona.
We have to take some responsibility as universities to engage the private sector and the government. So how do you, for example, the Ministry of Agriculture, since my good friend is here, how do you solve a problem from the concept, from conceptualizing that problem to solving it, that you can engage your partners, that it becomes part of their policy, it becomes part of the bottom line in terms of the private sector. So we have a lot of work to do, legwork, and this legwork cannot be left to bread and butter laboratory scientists like myself, because we're not trained in that paradigm. So we need that mechanism to build those bridges to engage the private sector, to engage governments, and to engage within networks.
For Professor Landis, a public-private scientific partnership need not be complex.
Would it be different for the private sector if they knew that our universities were not just picking their pockets, but that we're looking to share in a potentially profitable enterprise, and that they have a share in any profits? Would it make a difference to the minister if we had something like the Bayh-Dole Act? I want to go back to that. It was so transformational because it just made that arrangement, which is roughly 1/3 to the government, which is funding the public institution, 1/3 to the institution, and 1/3 to the investors. And so you don't think of it as, we're just giving something for nothing. We're investing in an innovation product. Not all of them will succeed, but if one hits big, you will share in it.
However, from the perspective of Dr. Kevin Brown, president of the University of Technology, the government's role in stimulating the emergence of future science and tech entrepreneurs and sectors cannot originate from anywhere else. And that was your Business Report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
We go to a break with our market summary.
it put you in a good mood. Every moment we share is finger licking good.
The time by KFC is 7:30.
We a bucket together when everybody out. Fried chicken we a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online. Bucket together to the new dance craze. Taste explosion bursting with flavor. When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment you share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come make we bucket together. Hey.
The Bureau of Standards Jamaica is your conformance testing partner with over 54 years of serving Jamaican businesses. Our world-class lab testing services ensure the safety of your food and commodities that you take to market. We are positioned as a business enabler, driving business development, competitiveness, trade, and ensuring consumer safety. We have 5 times the capacity to test over other local labs, plus 10 labs with accredited tests and calibration. We set the standard that promotes safety to consumers in a number of industries, including food processing, agriculture, and construction, having tested over 57,000 products on average annually and growing.
Hi, my name is Valton Gooden, and I'm the Executive Director of the Bureau of Standards. Let us take your products from lab to market.
Head back to school with all you need from Courts. Get huge savings on laptops, tablets, smart devices, and everything they need for the new term. Shop smartphones starting at $15,999 and laptops starting at $69,999. Plus, get 20% off office desks, chairs, and bookcases, and 10% off printers. Shop for them today and pay later. Welcome back to school with all you need at Courts. Bringing value home. Offers end August 31. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. Here's a recap of our major stories. The Jamaica Teachers Association, the JTA, has a new president, but the controversy over the March 2023 wage deal remains unresolved. Like his predecessor, the president is critical of the agreement and has inherited the fallout, including a lawsuit against the association. The Cannabis Licensing Authority and Aid Commerce is being pressured by the opposition PNP. In a statement released on Monday, the party calls for the weeding out of existing board members and a fresh start. And a beloved restaurant in Kingston was destroyed by an alleged arson attack on Monday. Reports are the fire was started at about 3 a.m. at Happy Days, a well-known fast food spot located at Barbican Sports Turf.
And time now for a look at our social media pages.
So, what's the latest buzz online today? Outcry as China Harbour Engineering Company clears woodland for luxury homes in St. Anne's Roaring Estate, prompting Jabem to protest government's environmental approval. Here are some of your reactions. At wild_Autumn Rose writes, every Jamaican should be out there protesting. The Chinese do not care about environment or Jamaicans. At Mina Creek comments, luxury housing is not even helping ordinary working Jamaicans. But in a small island with water distribution issues already, this is madness. What we gonna do, import water as well? At Earth and the Fullness posts, we need to start treating our island like the treasure it is. Anybody doing business here must respect that. Where bad deals have been made, they must be reversed or adjusted to align with good common sense. At Deb_Reese Howe adds, the current Jamaican government act like Jamaica is